Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Karukuri Hengen from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. I may be pronouncing that, but that wouldn't be the first time. Did I say mispronouncing or pronouncing? I can't even pronounce pronouncing, but that would also not be the first time. Anyway, this is one of their main weapons in the series. It's actually kind of reminiscent in a way of things like the Trans Dagger or even the Magistaff, whereas it's a singular weapon that can take on multiple forms, although they're not necessarily tied to one ranger in all cases, but still it's sort of like that. And I always want to, there's like a 90% chance I'll call it the Karukuri Hengen throughout this because I just want to call it that. I'll just call it the blade thingy. That seems more my style. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Well, for now. Let's just take a very quick look at the box because it's kind of a large box. We're going to want to get out of the way. Pretty typical fare here. We've got a picture of the weapon itself here, sort of demonstrating itself. And then a picture of Kininger here. On top you have a really cool shot of all 5 of them, and you have Red using the blade mode. On the very top it just advertises that it comes with the Kininger Shuriken. On the side, another cool shot of Kininger using its little claw mode. And then you've got, which would have been a perfect opportunity for a picture of the bow mode, but it's just a regular picture of it. But and then on the back it shows us 3 different modes. You have the saber, the bow, and the little claw. And then it shows, you know, the Shuriken can work with other things in the line, all that fun stuff. So now my favorite part of the review is the invisible station. No, alright, so here is the actual event itself. And where's there it is, the Shuriken. We're actually going to go over this first so I don't forget it and just show its functions with the other things in the line. But this is the Kininger Shuriken, the Yellow Rangers. Noises. Like all of them, the little thing comes off and you put it on there and like so, and then slide it. It makes that noise. The light here will stay lit for a little bit. Press this button back here. Get little noises. This part flips up obviously because of the functionality of Shurikenjin. Let's go ahead and just quickly show it in the Morpher, which the variation between these is not very much, but let's go ahead. Alright, now let's do this one. Alright, now the mecha one. That'll just stay lit, you know this. And that's about it for that. I'll take it off. And then obviously you can also work with the frog gun, which doesn't unlock any new functionality or anything like that, so I didn't bother bringing that in on this one. So I got Shurikenjin's waist here, because I don't feel like switching tripods for a single bit. But you can put this on top and give him a little yellow helmet. This will be seconds upon seconds of fun. So yeah, that's still, it's like kind of a silly looking thing. But it's still just kind of a neat little feature there. You get to hear the Shurikenjin noises. He's playing himself out. Still going. Okay, so that is the functionality of the Shuriken on its own. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. Alright, now we can go on to the main event, which is the weapon. Let me push down a little bit. Okay, so on its own here, this is essentially like its default mode. It just kind of sits here. I'm kind of torn on this because I partly like it and partly don't. The colors are kind of odd, I guess, just for me personally. It kind of looks like they stole this from a circus. I don't know. It's got all the symbols around here on the side. It's primarily red and gold. Here's the handle down here. It's actually a pretty solid size. I wouldn't say it's like show accurate maybe, but still it's a pretty solid size, and it doesn't feel like overly small or anything like that, which is nice. But yeah, like I said, it's one of those ones that transforms into several different versions, which is neat. This one's not quite as creative as some of the other ones, but I'll get into that in a minute. So if I can just find it here. Here's the on-off switch. This thing has sound but no lights, so I'll just turn it on here. And it will make that activation noise. I guess the first one we'll go over is the, whoops, I always get it mixed up, the blade mode, which is just pull this up, and there you get this tiny little blade, and you can hold it and press this button here. And then there's also a button over here, which is for when it's on a different mode, but they both make the same exact sound. So there's no variation there, but this is the blade mode. I wish this was a little bit larger. I guess they would have had to make all of these pieces larger in order to have this fold in, and you know, but it's so dinky compared to like what the picture shows. I mean, like this, the unit itself isn't that small of a size, but then you get the little one, and this is more like the Shuriken, you know, Swiss Army knife. It's just really small. I guess I'll leave that out. Alright, now there's functionality with the Shuriken, so let's go ahead and place it in. Alright, and then press it again, it'll just make this noise again. Alright, now when you want to take it out, there's a little button right underneath here, and just press that and it'll let the Shuriken go. It'll make that noise. Alright, so when it's in this mode, you're holding the handle like this, and then you're going to want to switch the handle around. It has two different shifts, this one and then one more. So press these buttons here and you can shift this, it'll make a little clicking noise. So it'll just make a noise like that, see? Seconds of fun. So you get that, and now you're going to want to utilize the other two blades. And I'm going to do the claw mode. It's as simple as that. You have two tiny little things, and yet again the same buttons do the same things. It's pretty much just the same. Now we'll do the noises here. Alright, now we're going to take it out again, if I can manage this. Okay, and now for the bow mode, it's like really simple. I think it's just like that. Am I doing this right? This is essentially the bow mode of it, which is really simple as well. You're just going to want to make sure that this blue part's facing this way. And, you know, the sounds aren't dependent on the placement of the blades, so when you place this in here, it's set up to make the same noises as you normally would get, even here as well. So that you get those same noises. The same goes for this. So as you can see, that's not even really you know, changing the sounds on it based on that. The way you're going to get the sounds for this one individually is by pulling this lever. I guess just for accuracy or whatever, I'll just put it back in. What you're going to want to do is just pull this back, let it hold for however long you want. And you get the unique sounds for that, and then when you take it out and just use the regular sounds for this, it'll make that noise. There's no waiting noise, but it'll make that little noise. I'm using more like a crossbow. But then you get the bow mode and you can be like, you have failed this ninny. Sorry, I couldn't resist doing that. But that's really pretty much it. You can use any Shuriken in it. Here's Niningers. It doesn't really change the sounds. Let's do this one. We can do this one. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. You can use any of them. Not really any variation other than just looking at it differently. But yeah, like I said, that's about it. Overall, I do like this thing. The design, I partly like it and partly don't. I'm not a huge fan of the color scheme, but I do like some of the parts of the design. I like the bow mode. I think it can be pretty fun. I think especially for kids will probably enjoy something like this. The sounds aren't overly plentiful, but overall I think I find it to be a pretty solid weapon. You do get the Kininger Shuriken, but you don't need this to get it. They sell it individually now, which is not usually something. Well, I mean, you can get Gashapon versions and stuff usually with things like this, but it's not a usual case where this early in a Sentai or Rider line where you can have an option to essentially get a deluxe version of the gimmick without having to buy a weapon that it comes with. So you have choices here. I think if you really want this and really like it in the show, I don't think you'll be that disappointed. I think it's a pretty solid weapon, but overall it's not a must-have. Just a quick little blurb here. Like I said, this reminded me a little bit of like the Magistaff and the Trans Dagger, which I get here they kind of wanted to keep it shaped like a Shuriken, I guess is what they're going for. But it just wasn't quite as creative. It's not that I don't like some of the modes, but it wasn't quite as creative as the Magistaff or even the Trans Dagger, which I don't think was like the most gorgeous looking weapon in the world, but it was really fun and easy to transform and had pretty distinct versions. So I would have liked to seen them maybe do something a smidge more creative, or at the very least, which not for this line, but I would kind of like to see something like that in the future. This kind of reminded me of maybe in a Sentai down the line we could get a really neat weapon that had different modes for all the Rangers that was a little more different than this. But anyway, that concludes my thoughts about these issues facing us with multi-ranger weapons. But yeah, like I said, overall a solid weapon, but not a must-have. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's Dawson Rider, signing out.